Mahabharata, Chapter 27, Part 3. Bheema defeats the Krodhavashäs. Hanuman disappeared, and Bheema headed toward Saugandika. As he walked, Bheema reflected on the majestic form Hanuman had just shown him. Who could imagine such a sight, either on heaven or on earth? Bheema also remembered Lord Ram's glories and the great battle he had fought for Sita with the help of Hanuman. Millions of Rakshasas had been slain. Bheema knew well a similar fight awaited the Pandava brothers. Again, the all-powerful Lord, the original Supreme Person, would take part in the fight. The world would then be rid of all unwanted elements. Duryodhana and his brothers were no better than the sinful Rakshasas, which Krishna had destroyed in his form as Lord Ram. How could those demons rule the world? Surely it was the Lord's desire that they all be annihilated. Soon, Bheema's mind again drifted to his surroundings. He was moving swiftly again, but the beauty of the woodlands, groves, orchards, lakes, and rivers was not lost on him. Still, the cool breeze carried that captivating fragrance from the blossoming trees. Herds of wild elephants roved about like masses of clouds, while buffaloes, bears, leopards, and deer moved here and there. Bheema pressed on. Just after midday, he at last arrived in the Saugandika region. There he saw the lake filled with fresh golden lotuses, exactly like the one that had blown to Draupadi's feet. Swans swam upon the lake, and other water birds mingled with them, all making delightful sounds. The lake seemed to be fed by mountain springs that fell in it in cascades that sparkled in the sun. A canopy of green and golden trees, which swayed gently in the breeze, provided shade along the sandy lake shore. Heaps of precious stones lay here and there. Along with the 1,000-petaled lotuses, other charming flowers of a dark blue hue grew on stalks made of Vaidurya gems. Bheema's mind was stolen by their beauty. But the thousands of Yaksha and Rakshasa guards that Kuvera had deployed to protect his lake all noticed Bheema's arrival. They moved toward them, and their leader shouted, "Who are you, O effulgent one? Why have you come here clad in deerskin, yet bearing weapons? We are the Krodhavashäs. We are the guardians of this lake." "I am Bheema Sena, the son of Pandu. I have come here with my elder brother Dharmaraj to Badarik Ashram. There too is my dear wife Draupadi. The breeze brought her an excellent Saugandika lotus, and so she asked me to bring her more. O night rangers, I have thus come here in order to satisfy that lady of faultless features, for her wish is always my command." The Rakshasa placed his spear on the ground and replied, "O foremost of men, this place is Kuvera's favorite playground. Humans may not sport here, nor may they take away flowers or fruits. Only celestials are permitted to use this lake. Others who try, disregarding the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera, certainly meet with destruction. As you desire to take away the lotus flowers belonging to Kuvera without his permission, how can you say that you are Dharmaraja's brother? Do not perform an irreligious act. First, ask Kuvera's permission, and then you may enter the lake. Bheema did not care for the warning. He had little regard for Rakshasas, and was certainly not going to be told what to do by them. Completely forgetting Hanuman's admonishment, Bheema placed his hand on his mace and boomed out, "All Rakshasas, I do not see illustrious Kuvera here. And even if I did, I would not pray for these flowers. It is not the duty of Kshatriyas to beg. In any event, this lake has sprung up on the mountain breast and belongs to everyone. Kuvera did not make it, nor did he create the lotuses. Why then should I ask his permission?" Having said this, Bheema plunged into the lake and began to gather lotuses. The Krodhavashäs advanced, shouting at him to desist. But Bheema ignored them. As far as he was concerned, the lotuses were the property of their creator, God himself, not any lesser demigod or celestial. Bheema felt he had as much right to them as Kuvera did. The Pandava knew that Draupadi would first offer them to Lord Krishna before giving them to anyone else. Seeing Bheema taking the flowers, despite their warnings, the guards charged at him. "Seize him! Cut him up! Bind him!" The Rakshasas entered the shallow waters, and Bheema stood to receive them. Taking hold of his mace, inlaid with gold and resembling the mace that Yamaraj carries, Bheema shouted back, "Stand! Fight!" The guards then surrounded Bheema. Bheema whirled his mace and met the advancing Rakshasas with blows. Heroic and courageous, Bayu's son was devoted to virtue and truth, and thus was incapable of being vanquished by any enemy through prowess. He killed the Krodhavashäs by the hundreds, beginning with the foremost among them. Many of them fell into the water, their arms and legs broken. Bheema was a furious whirlwind now. The Rakshasas could hardly look at him as he fought. They began to flee in fear, taking to the skies. Seeing the guards retreating, Bheema lowered his mace and then continued to gather lotus flowers. He drank the lake's clear water, which tasted like celestial nectar, and which restored his energy and strength. As he picked the lotuses, mentally he presented them to Draupadi. The Krodhavashäs ran back in terror to Kuvera and told him what had happened. The demigod only smiled and said, "Let Bheema take as many lotuses as he likes for Draupadi, for I already knew he would be coming." Hearing their master's words, the guards returned to the lake and saw Bheema sporting alone by himself in its waters, with a number of lotuses lying near him on the bank. They watched him in silence, keeping a safe distance. Thus ends the narration of Mahabharata chapter 27. Bheema defeats the Krodhavashäs. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.